It's so dark. I love it. Okay, so I had quite an interesting day. And you know that when I have interesting days, I bring it to the public, because why wouldn't I bring it to the public? This is what I do. So today, something really weird happened, and it totally did this whole synchronicity, and like this woman fucking cursed us, and then honestly, the car almost blew up. And not for any reason that you would fucking think to come in your head of like, I don't know what just came in your head, but it's most likely not what you think. And all these synchronicities happened afterwards, and I was so fucking scared today, and I couldn't believe that we ended up being safe, because it seemed like it was supposed to blow up on us, like it, you know, like something had been so agitated by my sister and I. And then I got this message that the reason why my sister and I went homeless a couple of years ago was because my stepmother wanted to watch us starve to death. And we actually like starved in my car for a few days. Like we lived in my car for a few weeks, but we didn't run out of food until we ran out of like our last $20 and didn't have anything. And then it was like, okay, this is going to be life or death as of right now. Like we either have to see if we can get help, or we're going to sit up here and die. And when we went out today to go do something, it was so left field. We never do this. And then the whole time that was going on, it was like something bad was going to happen, and it didn't happen. And I couldn't believe it, because I was like, I think we just escaped a huge death curse. And then it was like synchronicity, and then burn the witches. Okay, what's up? Oh, this is why I'm doing this reading, okay? So it was burn the witches, because there are people who have like physically tried to manifest your death or your demise or your disappearance, or right, however way, to just being so threatened because you're around. And it's just like, that just doesn't seem like a good person. So anyways, burn the witches. And then as I heard it, I started hearing this Manson song it's not called Burn the Witches, but it's called, it's like one of it, like his first album or something like that. Burn the witches. And then that's all I can hear. And I'm like, oh my God. And the person I went face to face with today was a fucking witch. She was a witch. Oh, it was so awful. So anyways, burn the witches. Let's do it. Right away. Jesus. Yep. That's what I'm talking about. First card out. Hey, Pam. What's going on, everybody? Holy mofo. Everybody's up in the live here. Hello. Salem something we're trapped in. Salem something. Yes, I just came on. Yeah, I just came on. How high you are? What? How high are you? You can't even text it straight. Happy Monday. Oh my God. I turned on my phone this morning at 6 a.m. and I got fired from my job. I called in sick yesterday because I had a migraine. And then my boss called me today and he's like, yeah, I don't want you to work for me anymore. I was like, I don't want to work for you anymore. Like, and then my car almost blew up. So it's been a really, really weird day. So we're doing this reading today because I want to try to figure out what the fuck happened. Okay. That'll be me tomorrow. Honestly, I don't know what the fuck happened. So here we go. Evil distractions. Okay. With eyeglasses, Okay. And the emotional as fuck card with the guilt trip. Okay. So the weird thing is that the guy that just, the guy that just fired me, he literally guilt tripped me so bad into a Friday night shift because he said there was nobody, and I got there and somebody was there. And I was so pissed at him that I was like, you guilt tripped me into taking this shift. Like, you guilt tripped me. You told me nobody else was around. You had nobody else to work. So I fucking busted my ass to get in here. And you guys don't fucking train me in here? Bitch, make the fucking trainee work. What the fuck? I got other things to do than this, right? So I'm getting that right now, and I was getting him all day today after he did what he did, and he like, oh man. I was like, what a fucking idiot. And you know what? So many people, whoever is like, I don't know, on the front lines of like guilt tripping you, or on the front lines of distracting you out of something, okay, they guilt tripped you into something. Oh my gosh. This is what I'm talking about, synchronicities, okay? It was like synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity this morning after our car didn't blow up, okay? And now we've got lawless. It's kind of hard to see. I'm keeping it dark in here because I don't want it to be light. We got the moon. We got the sea turtle, okay? And then last but not least, we got old Frank the Tank with Donnie. So Frank's the only major here. They can't see how slow they're going to go down. I mean, even in Lawless, like, he didn't actually know what that cop was capable of doing. He was just pretty cocky and was like, whatever, I'm going to keep doing what I do. You do you, I'll do me. Go fuck yourself. I'm not going to give you money. And my boss guilt tripped me. And the thing was, when I went into work, there was no fucking tables. I wasn't doing anything. I was like, this is not why people serve. Like, you asked me to do you a favor, but there's no fucking tables in here. So like, I'm doing you a favor and I'm not even getting paid. This is fucked. Okay. Like, that's not the kind of favor I want to do. If I'm working, I deserve to get paid. Anybody who's working deserves to get paid. Okay. So someone's like distracted by something because they can't see how emotional they are. They're guilt tripping people. Okay, they're guilt tripping people and they're breaking the law. They're breaking the law. They don't understand because they can't see what they're doing. They can't see that, that's not what you use witchcraft for. That's not what you do magic for, right? And I believe that they're seeing the things that they're doing and they're choosing not to care, like they know they're going to pay for it one day, but it's not today. So they don't give a shit. Right. And that's kind of scary to know that you're going to get in trouble, like big time trouble. And you choose to do it anyways, because you know that discipline is not going to come for a while. That is fucking dangerous. Okay. That's dangerous because those are people that, I mean, honestly, they know the damage right away. And then what they'll usually end up doing is cowards. They'll run away, right? They'll run away because they think that they'll have enough time. They guilt trip people around them into doing things for them because they appear so emotional, but they're not emotional. It's a distraction for people because they can't see through the emotional. Like, usually as soon as somebody gets emotional around me, I always try to like take a step back and go like, all right, I want to know if you're trying to manipulate me right now, because why are you crying? There's no reason to cry. Like, I am the kind of person, I have really hard time with authority. So when somebody, I don't know if it's really like that anymore, but when somebody steps to me with something, I tend to cry sometimes because I just don't know what else to do, because I can't tell them off and I can't yell at them. So I'll just end up bottling it up inside. Like, I get blamed for things that I never do. And like, I get like my boss actually, he was pushing me so hard the other night to get this food out really quick to these people because he thinks that like one night is going to save his restaurant and all this shit. And I looked over at him and I was like, if you think that speed is going to save your restaurant right now, you're wrong. Because when people go out and they go out to spend money, because I mean, fucking dinner is over $100 now if you're going somewhere good and having at least a drink, right? People want to sit and they want to enjoy themselves. You don't want something right away on the table. You know, it's like, man, like they barely even said hello. And my manager had their appetizer out and I was like, dude, like the girl like just took her jacket off. Like, what the fuck? Like, you need to calm down. Like, this isn't what is going to kill it for you. Okay. And then I'm such a fucking awesome server. The chick left me cash on the table and my boss thought they didn't tip me. So he used it against me. Like, oh, you didn't bring that appetizer out, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bitch, she left cash on the table. Like, maybe you're used to not getting fucking tipped because you suck at your job, but I'm used to getting the people that slip me the 20s because they don't want to put it on their credit card receipt because they would wish that I just had it, you know, in my hand as cash, right? It's like some people, they want to see that you're failing. Okay. So it doesn't really matter what you're actually doing. As soon as their mind gets onto a track about you, it doesn't matter what the actual truth is. Because the truth's been wiped now, right? They believe it. They want to believe it. They're distracted by it so evilly that they're willing to do whatever they can to keep it or to have it from leaving, right? So it's like people get evil. And like, honestly, the guilt trips, I kind of learned to know that like, that's all my father ever did was guilt trip me my whole life. That's all he ever did. He guilt tripped me about his wife. He guilt tripped me about my mother. He guilt tripped me about how much he was working. He guilt tripped me about his fucking child support. I mean, you name it, that guy fucking guilt tripped me. So when my boss at one of my last places I worked started doing it, I actually wrote her a message one day after I had to call in because something kind of bad happened at my place and I had to call in and she guilt tripped me for not coming in. And I actually literally wrote her back, do not guilt trip me in this moment because you have no idea what happens outside of your little teeny tiny fucking world. Right? Like when people have been married for 50 or 60 years and they've been under the shelter of a man, they have no idea what the real world's like. They don't. And like, it's just men shelter women. I don't know if it's their emotional as fuck states, you know, where they go like, I'm at home, I'm the mother, you know, you need to shield us from this. You're the father. Like, what's wrong with a woman walking out with a fucking, you know, with a weapon in her hand too? Like, why does she have to go and run and grab the kids? Like, why can't she fight back too? Why do you want some pussy little ass bitch that's going to be crying in the corner who doesn't even know what to do and in a fucking emotional state of mind because they're losing it right now because they're used to a husband doing everything for them? That if they get a flat tire or they run out of gas or they miss something at the store, they don't know how to handle it because some knight in shining armor has just swooshed in and gone like, I'll take all the stress away from you. But that coddling, that's a grown woman. There's no reason to coddle a grown woman unless she is walking with an infant on her chest and there's a man about to jump you. That's the only reason why a woman should ever be coddled by a man, in a sense of like, you go back, I'm going to fight this person for us. Like, that's, you know, I don't understand why women have to play that bitch mode. Like, I'm feminine. What does that have to do with it? If you don't fight back, if you don't see that your child's in danger, if you don't fucking buck up, your man's not always going to be with you to do it for you. Like, what if you're walking down the road and somebody goes to take your baby carriage? What are you going to do? Are you just going to scream for help? Probably. Honestly, I watched my fucking aunt. She knew she was having like, she was like trying to go back and forth about taking her dog for a walk when we were staying over there one night. right? Evil distractions. This is what you call an evil distraction. And she was like, I don't want to go. Okay, I'll go. I don't want to go. Okay, I'll go. My sister's dog had just died. And this guy beside her had a German Shepherd. And my sister's dog that died was a German Shepherd. So my aunt, the fucking coward bitch that she is, doesn't want to go for a walk by herself to walk her own fucking dog. She goes to my sister, hey, come next door with me and go and see the German Shepherd. Okay, my sister was almost crying like right away because her dog had just died. For some reason, my aunt wants to shove some other dog in her fucking face. So they walk over, okay? This is a training German Shepherd to keep rabbits and wildlife out of this guy's fucking harvest, his corn. Okay, this is not a dog that's just a family dog. Okay, my aunt is fucking stupid, but this is what happens when you get coddled by a man for 60 years. So they walk up, she's got her little fucking Chihuahua Paco dog with her. Okay, Chihuahua, like this fucking little Chihuahua is an asshole and he just runs up and barks in people's faces. He ran up and barked in the fucking German Shepherd's face on her property. Owner is nowhere to be found because we're in country land in like outside of Fredericton, New Brunswick, where nobody lives. Okay, so the dog is not supervised. That's what she's trained to be on the property. She fucking picks that Chihuahua up with her mouth and fucking starts ripping him back and forth like a rag doll. What's my aunt do? Instead of a reasonable dog owner that would go after the German Shepherd, grab the back of the neck and get the dog to drop the fucking dog, right? She starts screaming bloody murder. Oh my God, my sister said you should have fucking heard her screaming at the top of the lungs, Paco, Paco, while this fucking German Shepherd's ripping it to pieces. But luckily, the guy in the house heard and the dog dropped her. And her little fucking shit dog went running back to her house, right? Because that's what dogs do when they're wounded. They'll go run back home, right? She's freaking out. My sister finally gets her all calmed down, right? She opens up the door. Me and my mom are sitting in there. She opens up the door, starts freaking out. Like it was a fucking show. Like she was putting on the most dramatic show I'd ever witnessed in my life. Like this dog was not hurt. If he ran home, he was fine. He had a puncture wound, but she drove him to the vet in the middle of the night. The vet didn't even look at him because the puncture wound that he actually did have, he didn't see and started rotting on the dog. And my aunt found it like a week later. So I'm like, honestly, good parenting skills, you fucking idiot. Then you didn't even get the dog out of the other dog's mouth. Like you don't deserve to be a dog owner. If that's how you're going to act, you're just going to scream. Who do you think is going to save you? Honestly, who do you think is going to save you? My sister's house was on fire. I put the blanket out with my body, with my face and my body. Okay, burned all my fucking arm hair up. It was like Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, something like that. I fucking burnt up all my pajamas, and I'm like, if I had waited fucking 5 more seconds, if I would have even hesitated to not take that blanket off the wall, the entire fucking house would have went up. Like in the winter when everything's dry as fuck, right? There's paintings on the wall. There's all this fucking muck on the fucking ceiling, right? That shit goes up so quick. I put it out with my body. You hesitate, you die. Okay, you go screaming for somebody's help. Like, you know how many of those fucking stupid Instagram videos and YouTube videos that are out where like people are drowning and someone's just videotaping? When someone's going, help, like get your fucking ass in that water. What are you doing yelling for help? No one's gonna help you. What do they say about that? Don't yell help, you yell fire. Do not yell help, do not scream. People do not care about you. They're not gonna come out, but if they think something that they own is on fire, they're going to come out and save it, right? That's the thing. People don't understand, right? They're too emotional. I'm emotional. Well, then guess what? Get out of the way. You don't deserve to be in the position you are if you're going to be that fucking emotional about it. Pull your fucking big boy pants on, wipe your fucking face, and get to work. You know what I mean? That's how my parents raised me, right? But now all these little bitch asses are out there crying every fucking day going, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Maybe you pick up a fucking shovel and, I don't know, start somewhere, right? Start somewhere. Get your fucking ass. Like, I mean, clearly they need new eyeglasses. So get yourself to Hakeem Optical. Okay, get yourself to the goddamn optometrist and get yourself a fucking new pair of glasses because you can't see straight, right? And when you can't see straight, you do shit. You get evilly distracted. And it's so easy to get on that distraction bar because as soon as you don't like something, you become kind of like biased to it. And then it's just like, well, fuck it, right? I don't care about it anymore. And then you start trashing it. You don't realize that that thing you loved at one time, you now hate because I don't know why. right? Like, was it somebody else's opinion on them? Was it your own opinion on them? Did you realize you didn't realize that you were stubborn? Like, look at this. So out of the life and death card on the bottom, we have life. Because the thing is that no matter how hard they try, no matter how much they break the law, no matter how much they can't see what they're doing and try to give you a countdown on when you should die, right? You're supposed to live, which means it doesn't matter what they try to do. It's all just a scare tactic to try to get you to stay home, right? Or get you to lose your car or your license or your kid or something, right? It's a scare tactic. And now it's like, why do you think burn the witches? Well, that's why, right? Because they're making people evilly distracted and they can't see what they're doing. When if this person was magical at all, they would realize you do not push your magic out to other people. You do not curse other people, right? You get your fucking, yeah, look at this. Horrible choice with the scarecrow. I told you there's scare tactics here. They're trying to scare you, right? And then what was I saying? The fucking German Shepherd in the cornfield. Can't really see the gold on it, but, right? The German Shepherd in the cornfield. Like, this isn't a joke. Like, this is, people's lives are at stake. They're trying to make money. They're trying to make harvest, they're trying to, and they don't want anything fucking with their shit, right? So they get a dog, and then somebody so irresponsible, walks up without even thinking with, out their dog on a leash. It's like, do you know how many people put those videos up that's like says, put your dog on a fucking leash? Like, is your dog just running around creating havoc everywhere? Like, you need to watch your fucking dog. Your dog is your kid, right? Do you let your kid run around the fucking streets? No, don't your fucking dog, right? So it's like, there is a scare tactic here, and it's a guilt trip, and it's like, okay, well, you know what? You're not going to guilt trip me into breaking the law because you're too emotional to see that you're so evilly distracted by the choices that you're making that you don't actually, this person doesn't even actually see that what they're doing is as bad as it is, because they're so used to doing it. And that's what we call like battered child syndrome and shit, PTSD, when you're in like the worst relationship of your life and you have no idea, right? Because you're just used to it. You're just used to getting, your rights taken away from you. You're used to somebody telling you what to do. You're used to, them putting you to bed every night. Like, you're now subjected to a brainwashed life where you live in a jail cell, right? You don't realize that there's freedom, that nobody owns you, that you don't have to tell anybody where the fuck you are, that nobody owns you, right? But these really long relationships, like whoever this is, I have a feeling they're not young. They're old, okay? Or they're older, like 50 plus. They've been sheltered, okay? They've been sheltered by scaring you. Somehow scaring you has given them a place to live, has given them this ability to be lawless, to not care about what's right and wrong, because no matter what it is that they do to you, they still somehow gain something. Okay, like that's super scary. Like that's oh man, look what's on the bottom of the deck. Staged. Like, it's all been this person's emotional state, okay, has been the thing that has staged this. So whoever this person is, I don't know if it was I don't think it's really been recently. I think it's been building itself up for quite a long time. But this person has always staged their emotional side as their burden, as the thing that you have to forgive them for. They're too emotional. Right? They can't, decide at the very last minute what they want to eat. They're too emotional for that. You just have to deal with that yourself, okay? You have to decide what I want to eat right now because I don't know. I'm too emotional right now, okay? It's like this person they have staged it so well for people to coddle them and just give them whatever they want. It's almost like it's people aren't doing it because they're ignorant to it. They're doing it just because they're so sick of this person. I feel like they're sick of how this person is, so they don't care anymore. They're just like meh, meh, meh. Just take it, just take it, just take it. I don't need that fucking excuse. I don't need to hear that you're depressed and that's why you want to go somewhere. I don't need to hear again that you need my credit card to go buy something because somebody across the street has something and now you feel like shit about it. Like, I don't need to hear it anymore. How evilly distracted you are by everybody else around you. Like, why can't you just be comfortable in the life that you have? Why do you have to look at everybody else's life and go like, well, why don't I have that? And why don't I have that? Well, because you haven't manifested it. It's not yours, it's theirs. If you want something like that, put it on your Christmas list and see if you can actually fucking manifest it for yourself. And if you can't, ask Santa really nice. And maybe he will never bring it for you because you're a fucking idiot if you believe in Santa Claus. Okay, honestly, it's like their scare tactics have been the emotional state that people just, they don't cross that line because they don't want to see this person cry. They don't want to see them freak out. They don't want to hear the lie that they can't take it, right? That they can't handle it. If you can't handle it, like I said, then you don't deserve to have the position at all. If you can't handle talking to your kids about shit that they did, you don't deserve to be a parent. If you can't handle what your parent did and you can't talk to them about it, maybe you really don't deserve to have parents around you. If you can't be truthful about yourself, right, and stand your ground, then people are going to stage evil distractions around you all the time. It's just a matter of like, do you care enough to call this person out on what they're doing, right? Because the world is calling them out. They know this guilt trip is bullshit. It always has been, but, right, when it's the thing that, when it's the glue that holds everybody together, people tend to just sway it to the other side, right? Like, who cares? They're going to guilt trip you. Just fucking do it. It's like, okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. Like, that's not a life to live. That's just letting somebody just get away with everything. Like, if you let your child get away with everything, how would they turn out? A brat. So if it's a fucking adult doing, and you're giving them and allowing them to do whatever they want, what are they? They're a brat. That's a brat. Okay? And look at, we've got God. God showed up. So there's the second major arcana we've got. His organized destruction. Okay, with witchcraft. Literally, witchcraft. So I had a feeling that somebody was doing witchcraft, and now it's right there in plain sight. Somebody is doing witchcraft, and they're so fucking evil now. Like, they're so evil, and it's like, that's where you have to take the power away. That's like P. Diddy power, okay, where he has just been on the top of that mountain for too long with too much money, with too much power, too much influence, right? They're seen too much, they're adored too much, and the universe literally shakes them down. Like, I don't care who loves you, I don't care how many people adored you, you are a monster. You've done things. Like, no doubt P. Diddy's done fucking mad rituals. Are you kidding? You know what they're a part of, right? Of course they're going to do rituals. Of course they're going to do witchcraft. That's how they get famous. That's how they've gotten what they have gotten. Okay, it's not because of good energy. It's because of what they call themselves and what they do, okay? And what they do is not what everybody else does. And that's the same with this person. What they've done, this guilt trip, they've broken the law. So they're on the other side. They're not on the same side as you. And they know that. And that's why when they play the emotional card, you just back away, right? And eventually, like, I don't even actually think that this person's been emotional for a while because you've been giving them everything they need, right? As soon as you take that away, then you're going to see that come out. It's going to be instantly. Everything will line up to you taking your energy away and going like, see, I knew it. You say that this is because of you. You say you freak out because you can't handle it. But who can't handle talking about the truth? Why can't you handle that? My stepmother used to always say that she couldn't handle things. She would get up and fucking walk out. Told me she didn't know what anxiety was. And I literally watched her have anxiety attack after anxiety attack for 30 years. Okay. Always saying she couldn't handle something. And the reason why she couldn't handle talking to me and my sister about whatever was going on is because she was lying, right? So she couldn't talk openly to my father with my sister and I there because she was lying about everything. Right? So this emotional side she's always showing my father that she can't handle it is her way of saying, I've lied and I can't have this conversation with anybody because they're going to call me out on it. So I have to be emotional. I have to stage this emotional side or you're going to make me talk to these people about what I did and you're going to find out I'm lying about everything. Right? People, they know what guilt trips lead from is people knowing what they're doing. It's just whether or not you're smart enough to pick up on it because you care enough about being used in the situation. right? If you're being used in the situation and you care about your life, then you'll care to say something about it. If you don't and you're just living life and it's really like, okay, listen, I got to make money, so I can't give a shit about this right now. Trust me, you will go back and look on it if you're still there in 5 years, right? Like there are things that will come up over and over and over again, and you'll finally say to yourself, like, I can't do this for the same reason I did it for 5 years ago. I can't do it for the same reasons I did it for yesterday. Like if I can't do it, I can't do it. Why am I like suddenly making up this bullshit excuse as to why I'm doing it when I know for a fact I shouldn't be, right? It's like changing how this witch behaves, right? Because you can't be a part of it anymore. Overly emotional people, honestly, it's a front. It really is. It's a front. They don't trust you, right? A lot of reasons why people will start crying or they're going to emotional is because they do not trust what you're going to say. They do not trust that they can tell you the truth and you're going to forgive them. They don't trust, right? They've obviously told the truth multiple times in the past and never been believed. So now they use it in every relationship. That's why it's like, it doesn't matter if you're their son, you're their daughter, you're their husband, you're their mother. It doesn't matter whatever it is, because they've grown to just stage their emotional side as then everybody will look away. Okay, so there's the girl with the ghost beside her, okay, with the path and dead end. So wherever this person has been going, they've been led to a dead end. They can't continue going down this road anymore. Okay, it's been stopped because the road is about scaring you. And obviously you have proven time and time again, I just heard, that you can't be scared. You can't be scared. There is no scare tactics anymore that will work for you. You either tell me the truth and tell me what the fuck, whatever it is, and I'll deal with it myself. But there is no getting in trouble. There is no being grounded, right? It's like, but that's what people don't understand is like, what do you think is going to happen when you tell the truth? Like, do you think you're going to get grounded for it? You think someone's going to get you in trouble for it? Maybe you will get in trouble for it. I don't fucking know. But unless, you're like a fucking 10-year-old kid, then why should you get in trouble for something? Like my parents, even to this day, in like my 30s and my 40s, the last time I spoke to my father, he was like, he threatened me and he goes, before I say anything to you, I need to speak to your mother. I'm like, good luck. I don't even fucking know where she is. I don't know where she lives. I don't know if she's alive. I haven't spoken to her for years. You're threatening me and telling me that you need to speak to my mother. What, do you guys need to collaborate stories because I'm fucking 3 years old? And I'm telling one parent one thing and another parent the other thing? Like, are you fucking kidding? You both know the same fucking story. There is no this story and that story. But he's so hell-bent on leaving my sister and I as children in his mind that he does not realize. Like, my sister's 41 years old. I'm like 39 in a month. Like, that is not children. I'm not a child. But in his mind, he still sees a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old running around trying to fuck with his wife. Okay, when he doesn't realize we're grown-ass women trying to figure out what happened in our past that has led us to this point in our lives, right? When you're trying to look for answers, it's like you'll kind of do whatever you can to get to the end because you need to know what happened. You can't move through your life without knowing what's been holding you back, right? If you have physically felt like you've been held back, okay? So it's like this person, they have had an entity beside them, and it has not been a good entity. It has not been an entity that's been telling them the truth. It's an entity that's been lying to them. It's an entity that says, oh yeah, guilt trip these people, do it. They're going to listen to you right now. Like, I watched this one chick guilt trip this fucking cop because she was a stripper and she was a mom and she was a single mother and all this shit. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, you just walked out of a $700 ticket. Like, is that a joke? Is this a joke? Like, right? But like sometimes, I mean, I got out of like a $600 ticket this one time because I was crying and this cop felt so bad for me because I didn't know that my license expired, on top of running a fucking stop sign, on top of being late for a fucking work meeting. And then what else? There was something else too. Oh geez, there was something else. And I only ended up like getting the expired license. Yeah. And there was like all these charges, and he's just like, oh my God, I can't do this to you. Like, I can't charge you all this. And I'm like, I don't know what to say to you. Like, I'm just trying to go to my work meeting. Like, and it was sincere. Like, I was just trying to get to my work meeting. Like, I wasn't trying to fucking run a stop sign like anybody. You know, you're just like, you're focused, you're distracted, and you're just trying to get somewhere. You're not trying to hurt anybody. Okay. But this person is so distracted by everything that everybody else is doing that they use their emotional state to get things, right? To get money, to maybe even get trips, I heard, okay, to get things, right? To get people to call them, to come over, to give them things. It's just like, honestly, I watched this British little mini series, and this woman always fakes a pregnancy because she, you know, people treat her really good, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, how much do people really need as an emotional state? Like, how much do you need from a partner, right? Like, do you like I just wondering, you know, like out of somebody that you're dating, it's like, because if somebody is just like taking everything and like literally you can't even get a breath of fresh air without this person being like, what are you doing? Where are you? I need you, you know, like, I need this and I need that. It's just like, those are the kind of people that honestly, really, like, you either have to get in and you're trapped for life, or you're just going to hate them forever, right? Because like, people, like, once you say yes once, you're going to say yes forever. And the second you cover up what they did one time, you're going to cover up everything they do forever, right? So it's like, bad habits happen in relationships really quickly. And it does. Like, you kind of just start falling into a really bad habit if the person's not good for you. That's what's going to happen, right? So when people can't see, look at that, Casanova in reverse. Like, absolutely, right? When you don't know how to have a proper relationship, look at Two of Cups in reverse, and you tend to take everything for yourself, right? That's what people do when they don't know what a good relationship is, okay? They think it's all like parties and gifts and anniversaries and celebrations, and people don't, like, you know, they don't stop to think about the life that they have to live. Like, you don't get congratulated for being in a relationship. Like, why do you celebrate an anniversary? What does that mean? Right? Like, sometimes people get caught up in all the other things, that the main thing now gets swept away. It's like, you don't even know why you're doing it. Like, it started off with just you and this person, and now it's all these other things, and you and this person don't even talk now, right? But you can justify that by all the shit that's around you, right? It's like, people do it. Fought tooth and nail in reverse. And actually, this came up I think yesterday with a reading that my sister was doing, and she kept it in reverse, and she's like, fucking people who don't know how to work. Lazy ass people. This is a lazy person. And it's a horrible choice to choose to be suddenly lazy, because laziness comes with a price, right? Like I said, who do they think is going to pay their bills, right? And this is what it is. Look at this. Assumptions. I knew it. I knew they were assuming something. They were assuming this. I don't know if this person just recently guilt tripped you or they're about to guilt trip you, but that's it. That's it. There is no more guilt tripping, because once this last guilt trip happens, if it hasn't already happened, you're going to see through it. You're going to see that this is how they stage it, right? It's like, sometimes it doesn't make sense until it's happening right in front of you. And then it's like a deja vu. Okay. There's Krampus, okay, with the Clover in reverse and the Tower. So I feel like maybe this guilt trip happened over Christmas, okay, and it was looking pretty good. It was looking pretty lucky that they were going to get whatever this was, and then it didn't happen. The Tower came down instead, or the Tower is about to come down. Right? Like, the new year is almost here, literally. And actually, we're sitting on a new moon right now. The new moon is breaching right now. Okay. So tomorrow I'll most likely go live to see what the energy is for coming into the new year. Right? But if we're calling out the witches in the last, 48 hours of this year, you could say that that's going to be a pretty awesome door to open on New Year's Day. 12:01 in the morning is the witches will not be able to walk through the door anymore. I mean, the corrupt witches. Okay, the good witches, we'll still be able to do whatever we want. But the corrupt ones, that'll be it. That'll be it. And I do think there are going to be a couple female celebrities that are going to go down in 2025 pretty quickly, right? And it's only because they're trying to outshine them right now because they know that they're about to get taken down in the new year. So if they get taken down, they're the two I'm thinking of are two of the most popular Illuminati witches that there are. Okay. And I think that they think that something really great is going to come in. And it's like, yeah, just because you think something's good is going to come in for you, it doesn't mean that it actually is going to come down. So it's like, I do feel like this tower is going to come down most likely tonight or tomorrow. And by New Year's Day, they don't have maybe they made a wish on Christmas. That's what they could have done. Because, like he makes that wish like the 21st and throws it out. So I do feel like maybe somebody changed their mind at Christmas, right? And they were going to do something with somebody else and now they don't want to do that. So what this person, they unagied and they knew that you were going to do something. And then all of a sudden you didn't do it. And they were like, okay, well, where's my lucky charm? Like, where's my commitment? Why didn't you do this? I mean, I told you how emotional I was. I told you, all this shit to make you come back like it always does, right? To make you do something. But maybe this person's like, they work too hard for their money, right? They're not just going to give it away to some woman anymore. And maybe, I don't know, maybe this is a guy and he's been brainwashed by a woman. I'm getting a stripper. Like literally, I heard stripper. Like I knew a stripper friend who knew how to use cops instantly, right? It's like she could use her body. She could use anything to make men fall in love with her very quickly, right? Whenever she broke the law. So maybe this person is currently breaking the law and you're always used to pulling them out, covering up for them. I'm still getting that. Now I started getting that Marilyn Manson song again. Burn the Witches. Oh, look at that. The volcano. What is this right here? Oh, is that the music note? Oh, you beautiful son of a bitch. With that music note, honestly, okay, Sons of Anarchy, this Retaliation wants to come out. It's the second time it's been on the bottom of the deck for me to grab. And then there's Crash. So this Burn the Witches is for reals. I asked this card specifically to come out when songs were making sense, okay, to show me the song notes so that I knew to kind of take that song seriously. And I'm getting Burn the Witches, Burn the Witches, okay? Retaliation. This is almost like the universe retaliating. Okay? Because it's organized destruction. It's been so staged that the universe can't not take it seriously anymore. Okay? It's been staged. Like they've made horrible decisions. They chose a horrible path. Right? Anybody that chooses to scare somebody, to use scaring as a tactic, right? To emotionally abuse them, right, is like, oh my God, I mean, you're going to get what you deserve, right? Like, you get what you give, and if you want to give a bunch of bullshit, if you really want to fucking fuck around with people that much, I mean, you can't say that people aren't watching you. You can't say that eyes can't see you. Like, people everywhere can see this person, whatever it is they're doing. They're getting, people are getting a up close and personal message with this person about how their emotional state of mind is actually a tactic to control everybody. Assuming their guilt trips will always work. That's too bad. Yeah. They just don't know how to make something from scratch with love. And some people, honestly, they don't know what love is. They don't know how to honestly, truly love something and put effort into it because you want to do it. People are lazy, right? Which is this tooth and nail. They're lazy, right? They just want to go and buy the jam. They don't understand that it could be so much better with, like, what if this person has like meadows of berries everywhere and they just keep going and buying fucking jam all the time and you're like, Can't you see that, like, the universe is trying to tell you something, that, like, you can do this such a different way, such a cleaner way, such a pure way of, like, you know what's actually going in you, but you still choose to do the fakeness, right? You still choose, like, and that's what being delusional really does, right? And that's when something really gets into your head and fucks with you, right? They switch you. Right? They switch people around. They switch people around from going on a really good track to figuring things out to suddenly getting derailed. Right? And a lot of times too, that's how the devil will come in. You'll be on a really good streak of, like, almost literally becoming a saint. Like, not actually. Okay. And then, you know, your fucking wife gets killed or your fuck kid gets killed. And you're like, how do you expect me to believe in God? How can I believe in this now? You just totally fucked me. But they did it for a reason. Right? Because someone's not supposed to be there anymore, and you're supposed to realize that, like, you know, death isn't the end, and, you know, your loved ones are right beside you, you know, talking to you all the time, and they're always supporting you, and they're always around you, right? And they're always guiding you, right? Like, just because you can't see them, it doesn't mean that they're not with you. This person really just, I mean, for using witchcraft, it's really kind of ironic to be using so much magic and not realizing how many people are watching them. That they really think that, you know, like, when people are sitting there and they're giving an excuse as to why they hurt people, what they don't understand is that an excuse to hurting somebody, there is no excuse to hurting somebody. You hurt somebody, you hurt them. Whatever you want to say to make yourself feel better, it's not an excuse to the victim. It's an excuse for the attacker. It's an excuse for the asshole, because they want to make themselves feel better about doing something that was completely unprovoked. Right? Not karmically attached to them in any way. They did not have to do what they did. They just chose to. Why would they choose to just do something, right? It's like, honestly, when you just do something, when you choose to do something like that, like, at least fucking, you know, at least choose to hurt somebody that's hurt you, right? If that's what you want to do, if you really want to hurt people, then hurt the people that have hurt you. Don't hurt innocent people that have nothing to do with it. Right? Go guilt trip somebody else's fucking kid. Go guilt trip somebody else's husband. Right? It's like, because you chose not to do things the right way. Right? When people walk away from you, like what if this is your parent or something, or like their kids walked away from them, they don't understand, you know, like, dad keeps guilt tripping it and giving everything to mom, and mom doesn't realize that the reason why everybody's walked away and the reason why nobody respects her is because everybody's allowing her to do this one thing that no one stands up for. You know, nobody stands up for the victim. And it really sucks, because in such a family dynamic of a situation, you would think that somebody would be able to stand up for somebody and the whole family wouldn't turn, right? Like, we all stand together. If somebody does something wrong, they should be held accountable for what they did. You don't bring in witchcraft. You don't just suddenly decide that you want to take the law into your own hands and say, fuck it. Like, we're all in this together. Like, that's what we said. Why are you now assuming that because your tactics aren't working anymore that you can hurt me? Right? When you've always been hurting me, when really it's their job to be telling the truth. Right? Like, no wonder they're going to crash. They're going to crash and burn. Right? They went to the other side. They switched. Right? And that's literally because they just decided not to participate in making things for themselves. You know, I almost see, like, I mean, this person is so lazy that they'll literally go out and remove somebody's fence and put it around their house. They don't want to make anything, right? And they don't want to pay to have anything made, right? They just want to take it. They just want to pick it up in the middle of the night like a coward, complete darkness, and run away with it. And you know what people are doing now? They're putting Amazon packages on their front lawn with their old crap in it. And they're literally getting people to take their crap away from them. You know how genius this is? Because this is what I'm talking about. If you left a fucking a box out with crap in it, what can this witch take? She can't take anything. She thinks she's getting something, but she's not. It's a fake out. It's a fake, right? So it's like, whatever she thinks that she's going to get, she's going to end up exploding. And when the emotional state doesn't work, of course, then the magma comes out, the lava comes out, right? The explosion comes out, because now the tears aren't working. If the tears don't work, now the scare tactic comes back in again. And you know what you do instead of getting anywhere involved with this person once they turn lava red is you leave. You grab your keys and you leave. If they start throwing shit around, you call the cops. You have them arrested for the night. Whatever it is to calm them down. right? If they can't calm down, but then you're afraid of all your stuff or your animals or something like that, then you call the cops. You have them arrested. You do, like, honestly, you have to pull the smart moves, and sometimes you just have to leave, right? Sometimes you just have to pack up your shit and be a coward in the middle of the night. Sometimes, like, whatever it is going to be different for everybody. But this person is really thinking that, their tears are making you stay, and they're always going to make you stay. Right. And when that suddenly changes, when that guilt trip goes from a guilt trip to a rage trip, you will realize that that's what they've been doing this whole time. It just hasn't gotten to the rage because you deal with it already, or it's gotten into the rage, so much in the past that you probably didn't even really think it was going to happen again. And then when it does happen again, you're like, see, I fucking knew it. I knew you were crazy like this. Like, you told me that it was just because of your period last time, or, you told me that you only freaked out because of this and this, but you fucking do it every time. Like, you're lying, right? Same with my boss. He fucking lied. He told me to come in, straight lied to my face. He said nobody was there to help him, and somebody was there to help him. When people want to lie to you and then they get caught red-handed, that's when the emotions come in, because then everything gets lit up like, okay, like, I know what you're doing now, and people do not want you to know what they've done behind your back. They do, or they wouldn't have done it behind your back, right? So yeah, they are going to put up a good fight. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, to burn the witches. Yes, they will get what they deserve. And we also have social media. And it was social media in reverse. So, like, honestly, I do kind of feel like maybe, I wouldn't really make a big, like, fuss over the internet with this, whatever this person's doing. It's like, I don't know, maybe social media is not their friend right now. Yes, they are watching you on social media. Yes, they are watching what you're doing. Yes, they are, wanting to, manipulate you. Like, people are spies. So it's like, be very careful with your social media. Right? Like, I mean, if you start dating somebody or start doing something, try not to put that, all over it unless you really want people to know. Okay, if you really want people to know. If not, I would even shut your social media down. I mean, what's the point of even having it? Sometimes if people are just going to try to start a fight with you on it, she might or he might try to get you jealous by using social media. Okay, it kind of seems like people, they really try to hurt through this line of communication. So they might try to hit you up on your media, and Spirit's just kind of saying, I mean, you might just want to block them for a bit. Okay, block their energy. Okay, block them from being able to see you. Okay, if they create another profile to stalk you, that's their fucking main concern. But blocking them always helps. Okay, because they are going to burn for what they did. And, like, I don't know what dimension. I don't know. And I don't really think it's literal, but they will lose something for what they've taken because they've chosen to act so violently. Like, violently, like that warning today was almost like kind of a warning. Like, if you don't shut up, we could take this from you right away. Right. And when you get warned like that, when the universe, like when you get a download or a warning or something like that, that they're, try to really, like, if you feel like this energy is around you, be very careful driving, be very careful when you're in dangerous positions in the world, right? You're not necessarily the only one in control, because that's where some of this energy could come out, right? Is trying to hurt you in some way, because they just, like I said, this person does not know what they're doing. So who knows what they've sent out, right? Because if they don't necessarily know how much witchcraft works, right? If they've only been receiving the good end of it, they do not know what the bad end is. They have no idea. They've only seen the good side of it. So when they crash and they burn, right, for these horrible choices that they've decided to do, and it's all a matter of, it's just a matter of when at this point in time. It's not a matter of will it, it's a matter of when, right? When will they be held accountable for what they did? And Spirit is saying sue. It's not a far, like if you think about it as a path like this, right? That's not a very long path. Okay. I didn't draw it as a very long path. Therefore, I feel like, I really think it's going to go down on New Year's Eve. I really do. Like, be very careful out there on New Year's Eve. I'll be sleeping. I know I will. I'll probably be in bed by fucking 10 o'clock on New Year's Eve. I was kind of making a joke with my sister, and I was like, honestly, I'm like, all New Year's Eve is going to do is just fucking kill a bunch of people. There's going to be so many people fucking driving under the influence, fucking, smashing into cars and running over people. And that's what New Year's Eve is. It's a huge night of death. Okay. And, maybe something happens to them that night. Maybe they get scared. Maybe they finally see, the man in the mirror when they look at themselves and for everything that they've done, right? Maybe they will end up alone. Their tears aren't going to save them anymore, right? I don't know. I'm very intrigued at the energy right now just because of what I saw today. Like, I literally thought my sister and I were going to blow up, like blow up in a car accident, and like it didn't happen, but I was so surprised that it didn't happen, because the way that it came through was so real, kind of like almost like those dreams that happen and you wake up. Look at, there's the devil right there on the bottom of the deck. Like, and you wake up at night or you wake up in the morning and you're like, my dreams felt real last night. Like, I felt that last night. That was exactly how it felt in real life. And there's the Blair Witch. I wasn't sure if she was actually going to come out because she wanted to do the thumbnail, but I didn't actually know if the card was going to come out. And this is witchcraft, and she will, the Blair will chase people around that are, witches that are not doing it for the right reasons, right? They do get busted. The frauds and shit, of course they do. It's just a matter of time. It's all a matter of time, and I was really wondering how things were going to work out today, and it's not looking good. And a lot of times, it's not just me that's going through this, it's the collective going through this. It's the collective having, things that need to be revealed. It's definitely not just me that has witchcraft around them. Although I wish that sometimes I could be the only one that takes that, but I'm definitely not. Oh my God, my nose is so itchy right now. Like, oh, it gets so itchy sometimes when I'm doing these readings. Like, my nose is never itchy during the day. Ever. It only gets itchy when I fucking do readings. I swear, it's the weirdest thing ever. Like, oh my frig. Like, I never wipe my nose this much unless I'm doing a reading. Like, now my eyes are watering because my nose is so itchy. It's making my eyes water. All right, for the end of the reading, if there is anybody in the chat, even if there isn't, oh my God. We're now going to do the crow message. Oh God. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh my God. These all four were in reverse. Direction with trickery. Okay. And then distance and community in reverse. So with cocking underneath. So honestly, the way that I see it is the universe it's taken a really long time to get these witches all in one place. Okay. So Spirit is going to find a way to put them like basically all under one roof, I see. Taken from each community, and they're going to be tricked into it. They're going to think they're going to something that's going to get them something, right? The big 5-0, they're going to get money or they're going to get riches and they're going to get beautiful, and they're not, right? They're actually, anything that they took from people is now going to get taken away from them. It's like they get lined up, right? And they keep, every year they get lined up, they get given the same things, right? Every time. And now, you know, they walk into this party and it's like, oh, by the way, this isn't the receiving party anymore. This is the, anything that you've gotten this entire time is now being given back. Okay, you now have to give it all back, and they can't turn around. They can't leave. The direction has been chosen for them. Right. And they've been chosen out of the community. They've been exiled, I just heard. And they've been told to keep their distance from you. They're no longer allowed. It's like, okay, look at this. So see how there's this like little seed, okay, that's there. And he has this leaf in his mouth. So he's about to hide. He's about to hide that seed. It's kind of hard to see, but anyways, he's about to hide the seed. And then look at what this one's doing. It's now removing the seeds that he hid. Okay, so that's how I feel like Spirit's going to get them. They're going to trick them into thinking, and they're going to hide things so that it looks like, you know, it's almost like fake presents. Like I said, fake Amazon things. Maybe that's what it is. They set it up as all these fake presents, but they look real. And they go to grab them, and there's nothing in it. They actually have to put something in all the boxes and then give it all back. So that's actually pretty awesome to get the synchronicity with the crows on everything that they have taken. This is an anomaly. Ghosts. Oh my gosh. I don't know what is going to happen in these next upcoming weeks, but something huge. It's a big shift. And then usually when it's a big shift, we know jobs change, residences change, relationships change. Right. And right on time, right on course, exactly when it's supposed to happen. Right. Like a witch can only keep something from you for so long until they have to, you know, back away. They're going to get tricked themselves into giving it back, or, you know, into losing everything. And then boom. Right. They cannot stay in power forever. And that's one thing I have realized, is that anybody that thinks they have power forever is very much mistaken. And the world will show them that, you know, they had it for a little while, and maybe they could have had it for longer. But if you choose to abuse something when you're in power of it, right, then you're kind of telling the universe that you don't deserve to be trusted, that you can't get put into positions where you're of higher power because you're not mature enough to stay in that position long enough to keep it, right? You still have to act like a younger person and kind of take advantage of it, right? So it's kind of like, this is almost like dress for the job that you want now, not the job that you have, right? Because these witches have gone away and they're going to get stopped, you know, they're going to get dropped upon the island and the boat's going to take off and they can't leave. Right now I'm getting that practical magic in the beginning, right? When they tell their history of you know, why their men die. And it's because one man fucked around and this one, you know, head witch put a curse out there, and it hit every single man lined up in that family. Is it a coincidence? No. There are no such thing as coincidences. The universe is rarely so lazy. Okay? They do not line things up for you to see and say, oh, hey, that's a coincidence. No. No. There are no such thing as coincidences. Okay. And that's what these witches will finally realize. I mean, I think they're going to get a lot of synchronicities as to the demise that is going to be their future. And you're kind of looking at a way better future than them. I mean, you didn't even have to be brought up, because what was brought up was their energy of what they did. Right? Let's see what happens to you now. Let's see if I can bring it up. That happens to the collective now after these witches lose their power. Seven of Wands. Yeah, you're definitely trapped. Ultimate authority rests with him. So you go from honestly really being trapped, like 2 of Swords. Okay. And you can't really fight against them. 7 of Wands in reverse, okay? Because they've been making everything so fucking hard because they're too emotional. They won't talk to you about things, right? The universe wipes them out, puts them in a position where they deserve to be, and then you get your Emperor status back. If you've even had it, right? That's the thing, is you might have had your Emperor status a little while ago and they busted you out of it, right? You lost something, you lost your possessions, you lost your home, you lost your vehicle, you lost your companion, you know, you lost something because they had full authority over you because they were a witch over you. So witches do, if they are going to play dirty, of course they will take your power away from you, there it is, and put you strung out in some fucking dungeon, right? So don't be surprised if like you kind of live in a shithole and you're going to be moving quick. 4 of Pentacles, the Collector. Yeah, they've just been collecting things off of you. Okay, so now that that's in reverse, I'm like, you've been so locked away from things that were yours, pentacles that were yours, money, like they kept money from you. 9 of Pentacles with the 7 of Swords in reverse. So you have been up against deception, betrayal, and pretense in your life. And now you move into the 9 of Pentacles where fucking luxury lays in your lap, which you have not, like this collective has not seen luxury like this. Like I said, like I don't even think you know what that could be. You know, like that'd be like you going somewhere and being able to use a towel once to dry your hands off, and then you put it into that box and you're like, this is that kind of place where like they have like little individual towels to dry my hands off with? You gotta be fucking kidding me, right? There's the devil. There's definitely been a puppet on the string here. And then we've got the 10 of Wands with who will carry this burden. And then Justice underneath with the Tower. They got the fucking Tower twice. All right. Like they are cruising for a bruising. Okay. And, Justice has kind of, missed you for a while. Right. They haven't been able to see how controlled you've really been. Right? How many burdens they really put on you, what they did to you, and you're breaking free. Collective's breaking free from these people. And whatever this 9 of Pentacles is with the Emperor, like that's finally money that you can put into something that you actually can invest. So they've kept this from you for so long, knowing that this money would have been your future. And by putting this burden on you, by guilt tripping you over and over and over again, it has stopped you. You've been their puppet. This guilt trip has made you their puppet. And like I said, do you know what puppets do when suddenly they're free? Right? It's like that freedom smell comes back. Like, are you kidding? Like, I don't have to tell you where I am all day. Like, I don't have to do this. Like, I'm free. Like, hell yeah. It's like this little bunny rabbit I watched in the video. Somebody kept it in a cage for so long that it was just running around in circles. And then the new people who took it, because this person was like, was there something wrong with this rabbit? Well, you can't keep it in a fucking cage all day. Like anything, you can't keep anything in a cage all day. Like, if it wants to come out, you have to let it come out. You can't just keep it back there and hide it behind everything like, oh, this is my animal on display. No, like anything that's kept hostage eventually will break free, or it'll just die, right? It'll just die, or the cage will break, right? And honestly, man, my sister and I, we were sitting we went and got a coffee and a sub, and we were sitting there eating the sub. I don't know, it was like 9 a.m. or something like that. And this huge tractor trailer pulls up, and it's waiting at this set of lights to go on like kind of a major highway. And this fucking dairy cow pops his head out from the back. And I go, I swear to God, that cow's going to walk right out. And my sister's like, no, there's a chain there. And then all of a sudden the whole like front of the cow's body came out, and I go, there is no chain there. Like that motherfucker, like he's driving around with the door open to the trailer. But luckily a car came up, because we were going to go running and tell him, and this fucking finally somebody told him, and he came walking out and he fucking shut the door. Like the door was fully open. The cow just didn't want to come out. And I went like, oof, like if that was me as a cow, I would have went running a long time ago. Like, what the fuck, you know? But if it might be in a good situation, so it doesn't want to go running. It had its chance to leave and it didn't want to, right? You open up the dungeon door, right? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe this is what's going to happen on New Year's Eve, is the door has to open. And, you know, they've been keeping you captive for so long because they're saying that you want to be there. This is their guilt trip, you know, their guilt trip for you. You said you want to be there. They open up the door and you go running. It's going to be one of those things. Like, and don't be surprised if it comes through your dreams. Okay. It's suddenly you see somebody and like, you know, whatever the dream could be, you change places with them, or they open up the door, you were trapped in a room. Like, I mean, who knows how this is going to play out to, they kept you somewhere and now spirit knows about it. And they go, well, you want to be there. They want to be there. Don't worry. Like, I only locked the door, you know, so that other people can't get in. I don't believe you. Now you got to open up the door, and I want to see if they go running or not when they realize. Because, like, why would I get that cow? And then I was thinking, we were sitting there having a sub today, because I love salami subs from Mr. Sub. It's like my favorite fucking sub in the whole world. I love sandwiches. We were sitting there eating a sub. Usually we share one. And I go, oh my God, do you remember the cow last week? And she was like, I was just thinking about the cow. And I'm like, motherfucker, like, thank God somebody got out of their car. Like he would have went running right onto the highway with the fucking trailer open with cows in the back. Like, what the fuck? We were like, is this Twister? Like, we're gonna see a cow go running by? Like, what the fuck? Right? Like, I mean, it will be different for everybody. Like, maybe you do want to be locked up in this room, but I can tell you this. I mean, it's almost for certain. Nobody in their right mind is going to want to be tied up and left in a fucking dungeon. Remember their fucking Casanova card came up? Like, this isn't Phantom of the Opera. Okay, love. No woman wants to be kidnapped and taken hostage by a super hot man. That's not, no, it's going to be ugly. He's going to be fat and gross. And like, no, like maybe this witch put that fantasy out, you know, like, because she thought that maybe she liked your boyfriend at the time. I don't know. Maybe she found you attractive. Maybe this witch put a spell on you for somebody that you were with. And they wanted them all to themselves. I mean, I don't know, right? Because, I mean, why did it start in Practical Magic? She was banging somebody else's husband. Like, no, he's not going to come and save you. He's going to stay with his fucking wife. Anybody that says they're going to leave somebody, they're not going to. If they were going to leave, they would have left already, right? They tell you they're going to leave, so then they can weasel you in, so then they can use you and guilt trip you and say how awful their wife is and how awful their life is, but they have kids, so they can't go anywhere, so they need you. No, they fucking don't. No, they don't. Tell them to call an escort service. Fucking peace out. If you're not going to, they're not going to, if they keep saying it, it's never going to happen. Right. And that obviously that's what this witch has been saying. She's been saying over and over and over again that she's, you know, that you wanted this, that you told her to do it and that you don't mind it, that now it's like, I don't believe you. This person's starving. This person's blocked. This person's getting deceived. Like, is your pussy worth that much? Is your dick that good? Right. That this person's losing their life over? Probably not. Right. But you never know. Because when that pussy gets put on that pedestal, when that cock can't stop, those fucking people go crazy. Because majority of them are just about sex. It's all it really is. How hot their boyfriend is, how hot they are, how hot they look together. Honestly, I once had this fucking friend, and all she'd ever do is talk about how good she would look with somebody. Oh, me and him would look so good together. Oh, me and him would, as if a dude was like an accessory, like gonna match her purse that day, right? And it's like some people, they really do see, like they have kids just to wear matching outfits with. Has nothing to do with the actual child, right? Like there are people who just flat lie, and they look like the most honest, straight shooters in the world until you start asking questions. That's what I've noticed. People are really nice and they're really willing to fucking talk and share until you start fucking up, asking questions, and stopping them. Right? Anybody can be nice. Everybody has an evil side. Everybody has a side where they can snap. Doesn't matter who it is. They all have a fucking nasty side. And I'm telling you, this nasty side is going to come out of you. As soon as they open up that door, you're going to go running. You're not going to stay in a dungeon. And for all those years they kept you down there, for all that time they kept you down there, right, with the door locked, saying you wanted to be there, you now get released, and it turns out you never wanted to be there. You never said it was okay to put you down there. Ace of Wands on the bottom of the deck. I didn't want you to have power back. Right? So this is a person that is really weak, knows that you're really powerful, keeps you locked up so then you don't realize your full potential. Is that the Ace of Pentacles? No, Six of Pentacles. Yeah, a lot has to get given. This person has a lot to give back to you. And actually, I'm like looking at the Stranger Things cards that I have right here. And this song came into my head. And it was Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. And it's such a great song to kind of come in. Look, Ace of Wands staying on the bottom of the deck for this, because it's like she's almost determined to continue to run, even if she's not getting anywhere, right? Because it's like sometimes that's the analogy, is that no matter how hard your life has got, you haven't stopped. You're still trying, right? Which means whatever they're doing, it was in vain, or you would have stopped trying because you would have fell under their spell and, you know, been a volunteer to it and wanted it. But it kind of seems like you've been held against your will. So once that finds out, this person's not just going to be able to get away with it, right? That's kind of not the way that karma works. And the way that justice works too is like, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like whatever this reason, like whatever this reading had to do with, whatever reason I had to come on and do this, and I just saw a pentacle actually in my third eye, which means like the collective is going to be protected from this next bout of spells they try to do, because it's the same thing they've always been doing. And if the universe knows about it now, even if they try to change it up, right, it's the same person with the same energy attacking the same person. It's like, you know, if you want to see if somebody's being abused, you can look through their past, and there will always be breadcrumbs, right? So when you actually really want to do the work, you find the answers that you need. Okay. So I am going to go because I can't stand my nose being this itchy anymore. And I have to like just go and blow it. And it's driving me crazy. So I'm going to turn this off. But I will come on tomorrow. And now that I have been fired from my job, who knows what's going to happen with this channel? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with my life. I have no idea. This is like a brand new, I'm going to start the year off fresh. I have no idea what's going to happen. So I really hope that whatever this is, if you're on the same wave as me, if you're riding the same shit, then we just need to concentrate for the next 48 hours to shut the witches down so that we can get our new year. It's a new moon. So new moon in a new year. I'm like, yo, that is not a coincidence. Okay. That's not a coincidence. So keep it real. Be safe. Okay. And if you get triggers or warnings, just treat yourself extra well for the next 48 hours until we're in the new year. And then start to evaluate from there, if this makes sense to you. But I will keep you updated on everything that happens. So peace out. God, this was a really awkward reading.